Before we start, we want to share a quick content note. This podcast includes discussions of suicide, abuse, and other emotionally heavy topics. While these stories are told thoughtfully and with care, they may be difficult for some listeners. Please listen in whatever way feels safest for you and take breaks if you need. Listener discretion is advised. My name is Molly Orchard, and this is The Fabric of Being. Session 2. Danny. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You have a good holiday?
Great holiday. Very chill. How about you? Did you go anywhere?
No, I stuck around town and then I went to go do this like visiting artist thing on Monday and Tuesday.
Nice.
Come talk to the students and yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
How are you feeling about therapy today?
Good. I feel a little like behind the ball because I was just like went from holiday to like being out of town to getting back yesterday. It seems like ages ago and yesterday that I talked to you.
I know. I feel like we started at a really weird time. It's like we had our first session and then we had to take a week off. It's like,
Yeah.
not great.
Right.
But we're back and we're in it. Today, I know I told you this last time I saw you, we're going to focus on your treatment plan and doing the memory index, which is the memories that you feel are tied to what's keeping you from your treatment goals. How did you feel after our last session?
I felt really good. Like I feel like I said it when we were doing some of those exercises, but I felt like a lot of my body
Yeah.
in a way. And so I feel like I was kind of trying to do that more in the last like 2 weeks.
Okay, we can actually talk about that because it sounds like what I'm hearing is you had a really positive response to doing that safe and calm place exercise, the guided meditation.
Yeah. And look, and not even trying to use it necessarily to like calm down, but just like even when I'm feeling negative thoughts, like feeling like being like, oh no, I have a body too.
I think what you're going to notice as we do EMDR, because it's somatic, it's very body related. I think you're just naturally going to start to progress into being more just organically in your body on a daily basis. How often do you feel like your brain is disconnected from your body?
Quite often, I think.
Can you tell me about that? Like, what does that feel like for you?
Like, especially if I'm listening to something, like if I'm listening to like an audiobook or a podcast, I feel like I'm just sort of like in my thoughts and I'm not really like focused on like, what it feels like to be walking or like sitting or whatever I'm doing with it. It can be kind of an escape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about this when I saw you last, which is the hypervigilance piece of learning what hypervigilance is and what it means and feeling like you're on guard all the time. And when you feel that way, your brain is going to be in 100 different places at one time.
Yeah. And I think sometimes if I like start listening to something, then that can shut off a little bit. And I can just be like, oh, I'm doing, my brain's occupied here. So it's not doing the like, worry fixation.
Right. Do you notice the worry thoughts come up when when do you notice that you start worrying about things?
As soon as I know something's like about to start, I guess it makes sense. Like at the beginning of my day around like 8 a.m. when I'm like, oh, I gotta like start getting in the headspace for work, then it sort of like will spiral into like, here's all the bad things that can happen at work. And here's all the things that I wish that I would have done that yesterday and I should have done. That then it can kind of turn on, but it's kind of always humming in the back.
All right. So let's kind of get into your treatment plan. I
Yeah.
always love this. This is fun. I mean, it's not fun, but it's like you really start to get in. Yeah, it's really productive. And it's almost like we're investigating your brain. We're really giving your brain a chance to take this big cloud and just organize it and figure out where these things are coming from. So your 2 treatment goals, number 1 is that you want to feel worthy and good enough in your daily life. And the second one is that you want to feel in control of your own thoughts and actions.
That was crazy. I couldn't even say that, like, feeling worthy, like, when we were and I was, like, saying it. Yeah, that's strange.
Can you tell me about what just came up for you hearing that?
Yeah, I think my religion definitely taught me that, like, you're not. Like, your humanity is, like, like, only through God's grace, like, original sin. Like, I'm a man. Like, being, like, having human thoughts is, like, the beginning of sin. So I think that kinda, like, Christian conditioning of, like, I'm not worthy on my own.
So help me understand this, because when we talked about your religion last time I saw you, I was under the impression that it was like some Topanga,
No, no, no. I mean,
easygoing, love is it's all about love, all
yeah,
encompassing love, but I'm actually hearing some more traditional
yeah.
Christian
Yeah,
values.
it's based on New Testament Christianity, so, like, words of Christ, which, like, can easily be, Topanga, everything's love, love your neighbor, but, like, at the core of it, it is, like, you can't do this on your own.
So when you heard, this is again a really good segue into your treatment plan, because when you just heard me repeat your goal back to you, which is I want to feel worthy and good enough in my daily life, your religion came to mind pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, I think when you saying that, it's kinda like, yeah, made me sort of, like, correct that, but I think yeah, I mean, I think that that's definitely when I was, like, thinking about it over the last since our last session, when you're, like, thinking about times when you were out of control or felt unworthy,
Mm-hmm.
um,
What came up for you?
one of the things that, like, came up was going to church. I remember having, like, a pretty intense experience, just, like, it was, like, the first time I really, like, processed what they were telling me hell was.
When you think about that memory of being at church when you were 6, what's the negative belief you have about yourself?
Just that, like, my default position wasn't enough,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know?
So, what you're going to hear me do today, I'm already starting to do it. We're going to, again, really categorize these memories under these goals.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to ask you, sometimes I'm going to ask you what the negative belief is that you have about yourself related to that memory. But I'm always going to ask you how much it bothers you on a scale of 0 to 10. So, it's called the SUDS,
Yeah.
and it's the level of disturbance. 0 is completely neutral. You're not bothered by it at all. 10 is the highest possible. When I say how much does it bother you 0 to 10, what I'm asking is how much does it bother you in your body? How angry does it make you? Sad, anxious, any sort of disturbance, 0 to 10. So when you think about this memory, 0 to 10, how much does it bother you?
Not much, like, I would say, like, a 3.
Got it. So the point of this is if the goal is that you want to feel worthy and good enough, what we want to do is process out the things that are keeping you from feeling that way.
Got it.
So, what memories come to mind?
One time I was probably, like, 12. My dad basically, like, said, like, "Mow the lawn today." And then, you can do whatever. It was like a summer day. And so I like was gonna go mow the lawn and my sister was like, I really want to do it. And she had never done it before. She's older. And I like mowed the front of the lawn and kind of showed her how it works and made sure the front looked nice. And then I got her like set up in the back of the yard and then left. And I came home that night for dinner and we had like these big, like giant windows that looked out to the backyard. And I was sitting at the table, my back was to the window, and I was next to my dad. And he was like at the head of the table, could like see out. And he was just like, "Are you blind or the R word?" And I was like, "Wait," like, I was, like, so confused. I was just like, "Wait, what? What?" Like, I was thinking I did something at dinner, and he, like, looked out the window, and he was like, "'Cause it looks like somebody who's blind mowed the lawn." And I, like, turned around, and, like, it looked horrible. Like, there was, like, but I, like, turned around, I was like, "Oh, no." Wanted to learn how to mow it, so I, like, showed her how. And then he, like, looked at my sister and was like, "Wait, you mowed the lawn today?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, that's amazing." And I was just like, "Wait," And so it was this moment of like, there's like a double standard
What's the negative belief that you have about yourself when you think of that memory?
that it was like impossible for me to do the right thing, like
And when you think of this memory, 0 to 10, how much does it bother you?
I would say like a 8 or 9.
Okay. So what other memories come up for you that made you feel like you weren't worthy or good enough?
A recent memory was like a year ago, we built this like giant store in New York. I was just like at this place all day, just like going. And then like my boss came to town like 2 days before it was supposed to open. They just like they walked in and it was just like, it was like 15 things that like weren't right, or not even weren't right, but that they wanted changed. And like a complete lack of like
Gratitude.
awareness. Like there was no, but I feel like that's something that happens to me a lot where like I'll move a mountain for them and they'll be like, actually, I want to move back 6 inches.
Right. Like it again, you're not good
Like
enough.
it wasn't good enough, and like it doesn't matter that I did this and have to do more work to move it back.
Yeah. What is the negative belief you have about yourself when you think about that memory?
I'm sort of like, that's not good enough.
Got it. Got
Or
it.
sort of like always anticipating like they're not gonna like that, they're not gonna like this.
So the negative belief I'm hearing, I wasn't able to accomplish this goal, I let them down, but I'm also hearing I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I can't do anything right.
Yeah.
0 to 10, how much does that bother you when you think about that memory?
I would say like a 9.
Okay. Let's go back to your childhood again. When you think about someone making you feel unworthy or not good enough, what else comes up for you? Memories, people.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your dad?
Definitely. Yeah, he feels as like a figure. My dad was
Yes.
definitely somebody who made me not feel yeah, like I feel like you said that earlier, like nothing I can do is good enough. I also felt like my brother is sort of this like figure that has some weight over me. Like I feel like when he taught, like when he would like talk to adults or like have like a concern, I feel like people really listen to him. If my brother said something, people were like, "Wow, how precarious and interesting." And then when I said something, it was like, shut up, that's stupid." And so I think being around him as a kid always made me feel sort of like less than, or like second to him.
So what we have here is a person, your dad. Just umbrella your dad as a person. The negative belief when you think about your relationship to him growing up, I heard you say, is nothing I can do is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
0 to 10, when you think about your dad as a figure over you growing up, how much does it bother you?
I would say like a 10, like a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. How about when you think about your brother, what's the negative belief you have about yourself?
That feels like it feels smaller. It feels more like a 7.
So with EMDR, we process either the first memory of that's related to this theme or the worst. So
Okay.
it's called the first or worst. And you have some pretty hard hitters already in this memory index. So when I ask you to recall what made you feel unworthy or not good enough in your life growing up until now, are we missing anything? What else comes up for you?
The big one for me was sort of like school in general. Like in high school, it was like really frustrating because it was like I just kept like butting up against this like uh
System.
this system that was just like, yeah, that was like, your question is like I remember in my junior year I was taking a chemistry test, and I was just like really frustrated by, we were like balancing chemical equations, and I just like couldn't understand why or when this was ever going to be like part of my life. And I kept asking the teacher and being like, how does this apply? Like, and she was just like, you're being annoying, kind of like, stop, like, just, you're disrupting the class. And so I was like, okay, we took the quiz that day, and I like wrote on the back of it like a pretty long, like, I was pretty upset, I'm sure, where I was like, I don't understand this. I feel like you're not listening to me, and you have like no interest in like articulating the like practical application of what is happening here. And then like instead of like, sitting me down the next day and being like, hey, here's when it's important, or like, you know what, this isn't important, but we're trying to teach you a system because you're going to have to learn other systems in life. And like, I understand this is frustrating, whatever. She like sent an email to my mom that was like, there's been like a disruption in class, and like wrote this like very upsetting note on the back of the quiz, provoking me. And I came home, my mom just like got upset with me because she was like, what did like, she thought I like wrote like a hate message to my teacher. And my mom was kind of like, she was like a young mom who was like busy, and she was just like, whatever, like, your teachers know what they're doing, like, listen to your teachers, kind of thing. And then like to this day, my mom like brings like, kind of still is like, well, yeah, you like couldn't behave in chemistry class. And I'm like, no, like I've like thought about this from like an adult perspective. And then I think it did put a lot of like doubt. Like, I mean, I remember I like went to like a really bad college because I had like bad grades. Um, and then like getting to college and sort of like doubting. It took a long time to be like, oh, I'm not stupid.
When you think about this chemistry quiz
Mhm.
memory, what's the negative belief you have about yourself now?
But I like don't know how to communicate clearly. Like
Okay.
sometimes when I think about it now, I'm still just like, oh, I like couldn't articulate this in a way that was like
Okay.
appropriate.
Okay. 0 to 10, how much does this memory bother you about the chemistry class?
I would say like an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it really felt like this moment of like this I'm not yeah, I don't fit in this
Yeah.
thing.
So here's my thinking. You've got some pretty high numbers here. These are bothering you.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things where like I feel like they bother me that much when I think about them, but I don't like think about them a ton.
Right. But
So
right
I feel
now
like
you're
thinking about them, I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling like, yeah, that's bullshit. Like I'm like getting mad at Mrs. my dad. I hope Mrs. is having a bad day.
Yeah, yeah. Mrs. is living rent free in your
Yeah,
mind. Yeah, and
yeah,
you didn't even know it. She's
yeah,
squatting.
yeah. She's usually like it's like a tenant that doesn't cause problems. Then all of a sudden, like you haven't paid rent in a long time.
Okay. I'm having a thought here. I'm wondering if because when we hit on this I want to feel worthy and good enough goal,
Mhm.
your brain just like a tidal wave was like, here's all these things that
Yeah,
I know are keeping me from feeling this way. And then we moved into the second goal of wanting to feel more in control in your life. And you're like, this one's a little harder. And that
yeah.
makes me wonder, is feeling in control maybe a symptom of not feeling good enough?
I think so. Yeah, they're definitely connected.
I
Of
think
like,
so too.
yeah, and then
So
even being you like other things about being out of control of like smoking. It's like I think that comes down to being like I don't, like my own health doesn't matter because I don't think
totally,
it's worth.
totally. Yeah. Yeah.
They definitely, yeah. That probably, I feel like, yeah, out of control probably does often follow. Even when I think about when I was thinking about some of the memories, I was sort of like, well, that's not an out of control. That's more of like a worthiness. Like I feel like I
See,
kept like, yeah. So that would make sense that they're one
so
follows.
so here's what I would like to do. I would like to table this second goal for today. And I want to go in full speed on this first goal around being good enough and feeling worthy
Okay.
when I see you next week. Because what I predict is going to happen is that as we start, a lot of these memories you rated upwards of a 7, which is high. Some of them are 10s and 9s. So these are things that are majorly impacting your life. Even though they're playing in the background, it's still an undercurrent. So my thought, and tell me how you feel about this, is that next week we go full speed into this first goal around worthiness.
Yeah.
And then once we get through all of those memories, processing them, because I'm starting to think that maybe if we focus on you feeling worthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can feel like you can take. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do feel, I was like, was like, oh, well, then this happened. And I'm like, this also feels like I was out of control because I didn't.
Feel worthy enough to speak up to your girlfriend in college.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 So I'm like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like a what came first, chicken or the egg situation, but I think I know what came first. It's
Yeah.
your first goal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the first one that
Yeah.
comes.
We're going to do it. We're going to get right into it next week.
All right.
Okay. It was good to see you.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Session 2. Louise.
Hi. Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. This week has been kind of busy, but not too bad. I was actually sick the beginning of the week. Like a couple months ago, everyone in my office was getting sick and like kept giving it back to each other. And I never got the symptoms, but was just tired all month. Like, I felt like I was just fighting it off all month. So it's like my body's just fighting it and I never fully get the symptoms.
Can you remind me, when did you and your boyfriend break up?
June, early June.
Early June, July, August, September, October, November. So 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Okay. I asked this because the body keeps the score. And sometimes this can happen if you're going through heartbreak. There's this amazing Fresh Air episode on NPR called The Science of Heartbreak. And I think she's like a physicist or some sort of scientist. And her husband divorced her out of nowhere. He was having an emotional affair. And she literally studied her own body during the breakup. And there's data behind what happens to your body and your immune system when you go through a major breakup like that.
Yeah. Another thing that happened was my period was like late a week after it happened. It was crazy because it happened for 3 months post breakup and then it went back to a 4-week cycle.
When I saw you last week, we really honed in on a couple treatment goals. So the plan for today, and I think your breakup is going to come into this, as it usually does. It seeps into everything. Actually, before I go into this, I want to say that breakups are like grieving a death, but it's also almost worse because the person is still walking around. Like you can still technically call them. You can still technically see them, but you have to exist in your life as if you can't. And that's very, very complex. And it's truly one of, I think it's truly one of the most painful human experiences is to move through heartbreak. What does that bring up for you, hearing me say that?
I feel like, and it feels good. Like I do feel like I'm further from it now. So I'm like, oh my God, I can even like look back at like how I was this summer and be like, oh my God, like it was like truly, yeah, like feels like the hardest thing I've ever been through. Like it was so hard and I do feel even stronger from it like already.
Had you been through a breakup before?
No.
Oh, this was your first.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are like actively learning this right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And painful. And I'm so sorry that you have to move through it. It's not a good time, but I also can promise you that you're going to come out on the other side stronger. So we went over your goals last week. We really honed in on what goals you want to accomplish in here. The 2 goals that we discussed are I am confident in my own emotions. So it's that piece of being sure about how you're feeling about something and not guiding it off of the response you get from someone else. And the second one was I can safely and calmly advocate for myself. In what order do you want to work on those goals?
I think it's the confidence first because I think that would I think I need the confidence to also be sure in what I'm communicating and know what I want to communicate.
Completely. Yeah, they're almost intertwined in a way.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to dive into that memory index that I told you about last week. When I think of I am confident in my emotions, that's the positive goal. What I want from you today is memories that make you or have formed you into feeling like you can't be confident in your emotions. And I'm going to ask you about the memory. I want you to tell me how old you were, a brief sort of summary of that memory. And then I'm going to ask you a couple questions. One of those questions is I'm going to ask you to rate it, the level of disturbance on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is completely neutral and 10 is the highest. So when I ask you 0 to 10, how much does this bother you? That can be how much does it bother you in your body? How angry are you? How sad are you? How anxious are you? Any sort of disturbance you're feeling. So if the goal is I am confident in my emotions, what memories do you have from your upbringing, from childhood, from current day that make you feel like you cannot be confident in your own feelings?
I have one from childhood that I like always think of when I think of just feeling like I'm difficult or too emotional or something. But I remember like I was asking something of like my mom, I think, and then she said no, probably. And then I think I'd just like push back and why, like explain. And I remember her like, yeah, saying like, because I said so, or one of those phrases. And then I don't know how it escalates from there. I think I just remember then, like, if I screamed or yelled or maybe like raised my voice more, I don't know what I did to be more difficult, but then I would be sent to my room and was locked in my room. But I would just be like throwing a huge tantrum in my room. Like, and because they locked me in, because I wouldn't go on timeouts. And so they would lock me in my room.
I'm sorry, hold on, I'm going to interrupt you. When you say that they would lock you in your room, would they actually quite literally lock the door?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember like just throwing a huge tantrum in my room, like trying to like knock the door, like kicking the door, just like let me out. This is crazy. Like I remember like still being upset when they would like let me out. And I remember just like throwing myself across the landing, like laying out, like screaming, crying so that they could see me and like see how upset I was.
How old do you think you were?
I think like 5 to 7.
I want to share something with you. With EMDR, you actually don't have to remember things perfectly. Your brain is storing them. And part of the brain's protective mechanism is sometimes you're not going to remember every detail. So even if you, for example, say, I have this memory of when I was like 6 to 9, this thing happened. I remember it made me feel really weird, but I don't remember the exact details of it. We can still process that. And what will happen during processing is you'll start to remember things. So I'm just telling you this because if you do have situations like that where you're like, I can like kind of remember this, I know it bothers me a lot, I want to know those things too. So with this memory specifically, when you think about it, 0 to 10, how much does it bother you?
Probably like 8 or 9.
So when you think of memories that make you feel like you can't be sure about your own emotions, you can't be confident in your own emotions, what else comes up? And you can go all over the place. You can be like, this happened in my breakup. Oh, this happened with my family.
Yeah, I think just the like, oh, I'm overreacting and I'm sensitive and overreacting was like a common thing too. And that's the one that makes me hard to trust my emotions because then I feel like if I'm just everything that I react is labeled as overreacting, then I'm like, well, how is my reaction? So like I think my reaction then is wrong. So like I feel like that happened a lot in my relationship where like if something happened, I'm like, I never knew how to respond. Like I always thought like questioned if I was overreacting.
0 to 10, how much does that bother you to think about?
That one's like a 9. Like that one's pretty like, yeah.
Did that happen in your upbringing?
Yes. Like I was told I was sensitive and overreacting a lot. Yeah.
Is there a memory that you can think of specifically?
This is like in high school. This one is we're on a family vacation and we all wanted to go to because we were like in Newport or something. I don't know. But my sisters and I wanted to go there. My mom wanted to go there too. So we're like, okay, let's go to. And my dad was driving and we go pull up, but there's like no parking spots. So then he's like circling for a parking spot. And he like instantly was just like, no, we're not going there. Like there's no parking spots. We're not going there. And like there's 4 of us that want to go there. And because one little thing was inconvenient for my dad, he overtook the decision and then everyone else caved and I was not willing to cave. So then it turns into like, I'm then the difficult one.
When you think about this family vacation and that situation with lunch, 0 to 10, how much does it bother you?
A lot, like a 10. And yeah, it's just... And it's really confusing to me because, yeah, it just feels like if everyone else is okay with it, why am I not? Like, it does make me feel like I'm wrong and like I should be okay with it. I should just be able to like do that. And yeah, it makes me question things when I'm like, wait, but everyone else is thinking something else and I'm the only one thinking this. So like, it's like hard to feel confident in that because I'm like, yeah. And like when I'm upset, I'm like, I just want to be heard and not fixed.
It sounds like in your previous relationship, you were invalidated pretty often when it came to your emotions. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you share some memories with me? Some situations?
Okay. And I know I preface a lot of things with like, this is silly or and I think there's something around that though too, because I do have really heightened emotions in the moment. Like, I do agree with that. And yeah, I don't know. And like with time, I look back and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I also question things with time because when that heightened emotion isn't there, I'm like, oh, that's no big deal. Like, I wouldn't have gotten upset about that now. Like, I kind of question whether it was just like a reaction or I don't know. I question my emotions a lot.
But let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were raised in a family system where everyone around you was willing to roll over just to keep peace.
Yeah.
You were not willing to do that. That does not mean that you are bad or that you are wrong or that your feelings are bad or that your feelings are wrong. And it's not fair that because you were a curious child, you now second guess as an adult if your curiosity is valid or if your emotions are valid. What comes up when you hear me say that?
I don't know. I think it's just frustrating because I think it just gets in the way of a lot of relationships. Like, I don't know. I just don't think a lot of people are like understanding or accommodating of that. So then it does feel like I'm in the like, I don't know. Like, yeah, like I want to be okay with that stuff. Then I also want to have close relationships and not want to feel like I have to change myself. But then when I do voice my emotions, then it leads to conflict or I feel like my emotions like lead to something negative in my relationships.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a second. There's something that happens when you are functioning in your daily life with a bunch of unresolved trauma. And what it is that you are attracting situations and people that are not necessarily safe, but they're comfortable because they're familiar. There is a very high chance that you are attracting relationships and people and dynamics that are similar to what you know already. And there's another element here, which is that if you're already functioning with hypervigilance, where you're already scanning, you're already anxious, that's where that 0 to 100 switches. That's where you're not responding, you're reacting. You have no space to respond in this lower, calmer realm because you're ready to defend your own honor and your own feelings because you had a pretty extensive history of being minimized.
Yeah, okay. And I think my emotions are so closely tied to my reactions. And I'm not okay with my reactions. So then I'm not okay with my emotions. Like I'm like I think I'm correlating the two.
Yes. Your reactions though are a symptom. They're not actually your emotions. The reaction is the only way you've ever known to be heard. Again, that's where the yelling comes in. It's like, maybe if I just crank the volume, you'll actually be able to hear me. I mean, even this one memory that just came up for you of laying on the landing and crying, that's attention-seeking behavior because you were looking for comfort and you were being ignored. So give me some more examples of when you haven't felt confident in your emotions or confident enough to express your emotions.
I mean, there's a lot in my relationship just of things that happened that then, yeah. Okay, so he has a good girlfriend from when he was back in college. So like they'd been friends for like 15 years or something. And she came to visit. We like all went out and got drinks. And then we're like at this bar and so he's like not really talking to me. So I'm like feeling like so isolated now. But I'm like, there's this other girl there that was like a friend of a friend. So I like I'm just chatting with her, like hadn't met her before. So I'm getting to know her. And then like I look across from me and is sitting next to his friend, and he like is like rubbing her back. Like he's just like rubbing her back while they're like talking. And then like I swear to, I thought later in the night I also saw him like with his hand on her knee, like across from us. And yeah, and we get home and I'm just like, what was going on? Like I like freaked out. I was like, that's crazy. Like I'm not okay with that at all. And he told me, why, like we're friends. He's like, that's just our relationship. Like he like completely
minimized the whole thing.
He completely minimized it. He said at one point he said like, she's a dancer. Like we're just like very like like she's very like communicates with her body or like something like that.
Did he accuse you of overreacting?
Yes.
It's a really good example. Thank you for sharing this with me. Okay.
Yes.
0 to 10. How much does this story bother you, this memory?
I mean, yeah, saying it back like 9, 10. Like it's yeah.
I mean, it's not okay behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's so like
whether there was actually nothing going on or there was something going on.
Yeah. I think that's
you deserve honestly, to be
like,
heard.
Yeah. Yes. And that was like I think the hardest thing with our relationship is like I truly believe that he did not have ill intent. Like I always felt like he did have his intentions were in the right place, but he could never own up to anything and could never validate anything. Like it was just like it made me feel crazy because I'm like I really did trust him and that like what he was saying was true, but that still really hurt. So like it was so hard to like reconcile the two and like yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know. And then yeah. I have another one too. That was like another big one. He was like at some event. I couldn't make it. I was asking him like when he was gonna be home. He was like, "Oh, I'm leaving the event now." And then it was like maybe 30 minutes went past and like he would have been home if he had left. And I was like, "Oh, like, are you still coming home?" He's like, "Oh, we're going to dinner now." And I'm like, "Okay." And then he got home and I think I was like, "Okay," like I was just like asking him questions about the night. I was like, "Oh, like how was it?" He was like, "Oh, good. Like I met this student who I was like talking to for a bit." And also he's the type of person, yeah, like he would say student. I'm like, "Oh, like what was their name?" And of course it was a girl. I'm like, "Is that a girl?" He's like, "Yeah." Like it was like always like used they them pronouns when it was talking to a girl. I'm like, just tell me. Like I don't care if you're talking to a girl. I care now that you are hiding it. And then it was like, "Oh yeah, she like came to dinner with us too." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't know. I was just like questioning. He was like being shady around him meeting this girl. And he told me her name. And then like the next day I like looked on his Instagram. I was like, I just want to see if he's like following anyone named he was following a girl named and I was like, "Oh, did you follow each other on Instagram?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." And then that night we're watching a movie and I think I was like, "Okay, like do you have anything else to say? Like why did you not tell me that?" And he was like, "No, like I don't have anything else." That was like multiple times. That night we're watching a movie. After the movie he's like, "Okay, I have to tell you something." I did get her number and she texted me last night. "It was really nice to meet you," smiley face. And I deleted the message. And I also drove her home last night after dinner. And I'm like, "Why did you not tell me last night?" He's like, "Well, you were upset. Like you were already upset that I came home late."
He put it on you.
Yes.
He put it on you.
Yes. Because I was upset. So he didn't tell me. But yes, what I took away from it was I was being difficult the night before. Yeah.
Like the negative belief is, oh, he didn't tell me because I was being difficult.
Yes.
Right. Okay. 0 to 10, how much does that memory bother you?
Like 9.
So there was infidelity in your relationship too.
And see, like I wouldn't call it that because he didn't yeah.
That was a statement. That situation that you just explained to me is emotional infidelity. That's dishonesty.
Yeah.
And I'm calling it what it is right now because you deserve you deserve the truth.
Yeah. Thank you.
His lack of communication.
Yeah.
That one situation, other situations with his friends.
More too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And unfortunately, what happens most of the time when somebody is engaging in infidelity is they gaslight. They make you feel like you're the crazy one for even wondering. It's a defense mechanism, but it fed right into this narrative of what you were already experiencing growing up, which is you're too much, your feelings are not valid. What is coming up as I'm saying all of this?
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'm just sad. I don't know. Yeah, and it's just hard for me. Yeah, like, yeah, and like, even as you're saying it, like, yeah, I'm kind of just confused still. Like, I think, oh, he was in a bad place and like, he messed up and he had a mistake.
It sounds like what is happening there might be that not feeling confident in yourself and your own emotions and your own reactions is therefore making you excuse bad behavior outside of yourself.
Yeah, it is. Because I think I messed up and I didn't mean it. So if he messed up, I don't think it's tied to him because I'm doing the same. Yeah.
When you're expressing your feelings and you're prefacing them with, I know this is silly, what emotion comes up when you're saying that? Is it like embarrassment? Is it nervousness?
Yeah, maybe it's embarrassment.
Okay.
I think when I say it out loud, well, yeah, I think because I've just been invalidated a lot. So I feel like when I say it out loud, then the other person is going to be like, oh, that's not a big deal. Like, I think they're going to perceive it as not a big deal. Yeah.
What you just said right there is, I think it's because I've been invalidated so much. I'm like, yes. Like something we're doing is already working, that you're allowed to admit that. You just admitted that out loud. When you preface something, a feeling you're having with this is silly, that embarrassment, 0 to 10, how embarrassed do you feel when you're sharing a silly story?
I don't know, because I don't feel that, like, I share a lot and I'm actually very open and share these things with a lot of people, but yeah, I don't know. I don't feel that embarrassed. I think it's just I'm just concerned about perception. Yeah. Yeah.
It's an insurance policy.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I know this is silly, even though I don't think it's that silly, but I'm going to say it. And that way, if you say it's silly, I've already covered my bases.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
The stuff you've been through is not silly. All right. Go take care of yourself. This was a lot.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
The Fabric of Being is a production of the LA Therapy Alliance. If you're interested in receiving EMDR or therapy services, you can visit us at www.latherapyalliance.com or email hello@latherapyalliance.com. If you or someone you know is having a difficult time, please know that you don't have to go through it alone. If you are in need of immediate assistance, here are some phone numbers that you can call or text to speak with someone free of charge. Call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233, or you can text the word BEGIN to 88788. Again, that's the word BEGIN to 88788. If you prefer LGBTQ plus specialized support, please call the Trevor Project Lifeline at 866-488-7386 or text the word START to 678-678. Again, that's the word START to 678-678. Thank you for listening and for being here. You're so worth it.